Okay, I'm back, and we've got a chart full of patterns here, but it's not that difficult. Okay, the first patterns that I learned is this one, and with that pentatonic, here's how we got off the track. This pentatonic here, okay, we only use this part of it. We only use that part of it, okay? Let's make a better square. We're going to have to really highlight that out. So in this pentatonic stack here, all right, there's a stack of 3 short. It says it right here, okay? And then we have the stack of 2 long, and these you put together to make pentatonic scales. Okay, you put them together to make pentatonic scales. So that's the first thing to do. So it's like 2, 3, start on any note. But I happen to know that if we're in the key of C, 2 is going to be, the D is going to be down here for me. This is too low for your guitar. Okay, but it'd be 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2. So that's the first part of the pattern. That D is the easiest pattern because you have the stack of 3 right there. Now this guitar is not as loud as the other one. It's interesting. Then you have to warp. So the 6 is going to move over to this one. The R is going to move over to the box to the right of it when you hit the warp. The tuning warp. And then you return after the 6R again. You're going to return to perfect fourths here, so it goes right to this, and that is your 2nd degree or D shape. Why do they call it a D shape? Whoops. Because right there is a D. Now, why does it not look like a D? Aha, good question. It doesn't look like a D. See, we go up here, and then we hit the root here. What happened to our D shape? And I'll show you what happened. Let's zoom in a little bit. Here's our D shape in the pentatonic. Remember, pentatonics can form triads because you got a 5-note scale versus essentially a 4-note or a 3-note scale. You know, so pentatonics can form triads there. They really can. Now this is easy because I know where this is going. It's going right over here. When it hits the warp, if we did start on the 2, string 1 would be 2, string 2 would be the 5th, string 3 would be the root, string 4 we go down to get that note, but then we have to warp it back up. So we no longer have this guy here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, R, in a perfectly stacked on one another. 3 goes to 6, 5 goes to R, perfect fourth. Okay, so like G goes to C, a perfect fourth. If the 5th was B, it would be B goes to E, perfect fourth. We no longer have that situation with the tuning warp. Okay, so what we've got is this is what it would look like by the time you got up there. All right, so again, we've got this. I want to adjust the line thickness here. Be about like that. Okay. So we start the whole thing. This is the whole, but it's still thick, still too thick. This is the fretboard here, all right, that we just made. We started from the 2, and we warped it when we got to string number between 4 and 5. So string 5 was pushed up and string 6 followed on top of 5, just like would be right up here. String 6, 5 and 6 were the same. 6-2, major third between the root and the third there. Okay, but this has been warped over. 3 is no longer under there. So that's what's going on there. And indeed, that gives us, there's our D shape. Aha! There's our D shape right there with the root in the lead. There's our D. You see, it almost looks like a D. So when you warp it, you make shapes. Okay, that we have to, you have to practice that. Take an easy pattern through the warp. Whoop. Okay, that kind of cleared out our little change here in our pentatonic stat. So it's interesting that pentatonics can form the chords when you warp them. We could try one more. Let's say we want to start on the 6. Okay, so we're just going to start on the 6. Say that would be the A minor. Okay, and the root's going to be C. Alright, so we go 6 root 2 3 5 6 root 2. Now we're going to go down and grab one more time. We're going to start the 6 from the string 1. String 1 3 5. Excuse me, string 1 6 root, string 2 2 3, string 3 5 6, string 4 root 2. Now we're going to warp the 3 over to be right over the R. String 5 3 5, and then following right above string 5 and 4th is 6R again. And right there, what you got is your G shape. Okay? Now, how do you identify a G shape? I'll show you. Not a big problem. We're going to warp these 2 over. Alright? And then we'll draw our little fretboard. Okay, there's the thing warped over. And we want to draw our little fretboard. It's going to start from the 6. So this is the fretboard here, right? This is it. Now, it doesn't matter. We were doing this from up on the bar, so it doesn't matter. But if this was on the fretnut, and we were to draw a line here, all right, I don't want to move that line over, so we'll have to draw it perfect. If we were to draw that line there, okay, now what that would mean is on this 6th note here, I will put my finger there and I'd have to make that G shape. Now, what notes are characteristic of a G-shaped root? It's essentially a G-shaped root. It would be, when you look at the G shape and we've warped it now, you'd have the root up here on the 3rd fret, on top and bottom. That tells you right there it's a G. The 6 here and the 2 roots there means it's a G. That, to me, that's how I identify my G's. There are other ways. So we got root, 3rd, 5th. Let's look at those intervals. From root to 3rd is a major 3rd, because here's a major 4th. 1/2 step down. Okay, here's the 4th. And then from the 3rd, which is E in the key of C, to the 5th, which is G, is a minor 3rd. And straight up above that, first inversion,